Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. Hello and welcome to this morning's session. And the title today is Goals. I spent a lot of time setting goals. I worked with a business coach for a while, and I had a series of goals that lasted quite long periods. So I think I had at one point a 3-year plan and a 1-year plan, and then that was broken down into 12-week blocks of time. You may have come across a planning system called the 12-week year, and I used that, and I would take me a really long time to even do the plan in the first place, which should have been a massive warning for me. That even to write the 12-week plan, I needed a plan to write the 12-week plan, because I wasn't really very good at doing it. And I think that really fed into this idea that I wasn't very good at this business thing, and I was procrastinating and not motivated enough and not doing what I should be doing. And I now know that that's not really true. I was just creating confusion in my mind, because when we get really involved in the future, we create confusion in our minds, because it looks like there's some truth there in what we've decided is going to be the future, what the future is going to look like. And really, our human persona, how we are as human beings, only really works well in the present moment. We really don't work in the future. We just malfunction, really. And that's why we can create all sorts of unpleasant feelings for ourselves. Those feelings are just a warning to say, you're thinking about the future. Not only is it perhaps not helpful in general, it's telling you that that's not a place where you have any capacity to function. Your feelings are just this. I'm seeing this more and more at the moment, how our feelings are just this amazing guide, that we're so lucky to have them, because they are always guiding us, always saying, excuse me, tap on the shoulder, your thinking's off. You're feeling that your thinking's off. And when we think about the future and we start setting really, really rigid goals, we probably feel that. Maybe you feel a sense of it all seeming like an awful lot to do, or I know I did. But I think that's because I just held on to them far too tightly. There was a sense that my well-being, the well-being of the future me, depended on this certain thing being in place. The idea that when I get X, I will feel Y. If that is underpinning your decision making about your goals, it's just a misunderstanding. It's a lie that we tell ourselves, because we absolutely don't know. I mean, my route to burnout was, when I get here, I'll feel it. When I get there, I'll feel, there's just continually pushing myself up the ladder with the idea that I would get to some certain place. And I thought glitter would fall from the sky and light would shine on me, and I would be in a wonderful place because I'd achieved certain things or got certain things to be a certain way in my life. But what I'm not saying here is don't set goals. That's not what I'm pointing to. It is, but perhaps goals have got that kind of thing wrapped around them. Perhaps already that word has got that kind of goal smashing, goal setting and goal smashing, hustle kind of energy about it. And that's why really, I like the word intention. To set an intention, to look in a direction, to say, this is where I would like to be at some point in the future, because I think it would be interesting and fun. But I don't think my well-being depends on it. I know I'll be okay if it doesn't turn out that way. And I think in the light holding of a goal, if we're just kind of holding it with interest and curiosity, there's so much more space. There's space for us to see an opportunity over there somewhere, off to one side, an opportunity off to the other side. There's just so much more perspective, like a broadening of our perspective. I remember I used to talk a lot about neuroscience and how the brain works, and kind of got the understanding that when we, like if we think doom and gloom about the future, what that does is if we kind of decided something bad is going to happen, there's no two ways about it, that's the only outcome that is possible, is that just that it's going to be bad, the bad thing's going to happen, then what that does is it almost just shuts down our field of vision, like our peripheral vision almost of what's possible. It shuts it down. But setting a really rigid goal that we're like hanging on to like this, that does exactly the same thing. It narrows down our field of vision. It narrows down the opportunity to see something new or exciting that may be possible. Because I don't know about you, but when I look back on how things have unfolded, I couldn't have forward planned that. It's just all happened. When I look back, you can't reverse engineer that. Life has just unfolded, looking in a direction with an intention, and then from the present moment doing what makes sense next. Has so much more potential. That's what it has. It's potential. A rigid goal that you are absolutely determined that's where you're going to get to doesn't have that same potential. It's not expansive. It's closed down. And the other thing is that if there's something about contemplating or being curious about why there is that level of determination. Is it, I can only feel X once I get Y? Because if it is that, it's really helpful to know that the world just doesn't work that way. First of all, you can't predict the future, but you cannot predict how future you is going to relate to something that comes in the future. You can't predict that. And that's why sometimes, quite often, to be fair, we get to a point, don't we? We get the car or the house or the certain relationship or certain place in our business, clients, money, whatever. And then we go, we kind of thought there was going to be fireworks and, streamers going off, glitter coming down, and it was all going to be woo, and we were going to feel happy for the rest of our lives. And that is utter rubbish, because when we get there, we look around and go, we have an initial flush of it being quite exciting. And then we're like, oh yeah, just driving this car every day now. It's not actually that exciting. And then we go seeking for the next thing, don't we? And that's why we can end up with these rigid goals that we're hanging on to. And when we get to them, we go, and we make another rigid goal that we're hanging on to, and we get there and we go, And that can be Well, for me, that was the route to burnout. That was it. That was how I ended up burnt out, because I kept looking and looking and looking. The world doesn't work outside in, folks. It works inside out. And everything you want to experience, everything you want to feel, is inside you right now, available to you right now. And as your thinking begins to fall away and you start to have a lighter, less grasping relationship with that, the possibility to see what's inside you and what's perfect inside you all the time, that possibility just gets more and more every day. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.